States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
We have a call to roll, please.
Mayor Donovan?
Here.
Councilwoman Knight? Here. Councilman Doomer? Here. Councilman Patterson?
Here.
Councilman Elliott? Here.
All right, a quorum being present. Is there any objection to the agenda as presented? No objections. The agenda will be approved by unanimous consent. Is there any objection to the consent agenda as presented? Hearing no objection, the consent agenda will be approved by unanimous consent. Okay, our next item is a presentation, and this is something that I've wanted to start just to kind of give an opportunity to some of our community organizations to have a moment of the council's time to be able to present the different things that some of these organizations do to help better Pleasant Hill. And with that, our first presentation is going to be from the Pleasant Hill Optimist Club, and this is their president, Rena McGowan.
Hi, everybody. Hi, I'm Rena McGowan. Again, I live in Pleasant Hill, but not in the city limits, but I do support the city as much as I can. The Optimist Club of Pleasant Hill has been around the community for at least more than 20 years, at least 30 years with multiple clubs. And we have about 15 members. I have a few of our members here today of our board, so we thank them for coming and helping me support today. But we are really the only youth organization supporting youth in the community. So we're here to try to find ways to bring up the youth in a more positive way. A lot of those things we do with the school district. We also work with the police department and the fire department on different initiatives to kind of just be there for them. We started out, one of our major initiatives starting out as a community group was to really help those kids in need with food. Food support was really a major need for our community for those kids that just did not have that support, especially outside of school or even during the summer. And that's kind of dwindled down a little bit now with the harvester support through the school, but we are there as well as a support in that food environment. We also do still do summer support outside of when school is over. And then a lot of the school events, I think many of the community members know, we support our Super Citizen program. The Super Citizen program is based off of a creed that the Optimist International has, that it's had for over 100 years. And it's a lot of lines in the creed that we feel are necessary for our children or anybody in the community to follow, because they're just great statements of being a member of the community or being a good person. And so we try to teach those kids that by going every single month to the schools, all the schools up through K through 6. And we, work with the teachers to try to find those students that meet those great, community ideals. And then the point is to kind of get them through all the way through high school. So we also try to put our face to them every single year by hand scooping them ice cream, at least once a year through the spring. And so that definitely puts us in their face. We also work a little bit with Strasburg on that as well, because we know they come to our community as well. So, but we always try to find new things that we can do. The big thing we work with the Pleasant Hill Police Department on is the bike rodeo every year. So we definitely support them with volunteer support while they help teach those kids bike safety. And then we've been trying to just find little events here and there that we can come out and help with food support as we can, just to put our face out there. So if there is anything that you guys can think of through the community, we're happy to listen and see if it's something. We definitely try to evaluate it on a full commitment to all youth instead of just one or two youth, if possible. And we are looking for members, so I'll hand out these little things. So it gives us, so if you do know somebody, we definitely would be happy to have them help participate and help us volunteer. It's not a huge commitment throughout the year. We only have a meeting once a month, so it's not terribly a lot of meetings or a lot of things that we do. But our biggest fundraiser that we want to continue with the city is we put on a circus every 2 years, and that circus is what funds us, and we fund that through all of the city's businesses. We go to all the businesses, which I know Dr. Patterson knows. We come to all the businesses and we say, you know, would you help support us for that circus? And that 2-year support gets us through all the programs. We've never come back again except for those 2 years, and we don't do any other fundraisers throughout that 2 years. So it's really great to have that circus come. So, and I know that you guys at the city help us with the fairgrounds, so we just hope that you guys support us continually through the next many years for that. And I'll leave it to my members. Anybody else have anything they want to speak up? Myra?
I'm Myra Dela. I'm a member of the Optima Club, past president at some time. I don't remember the dates anymore, it doesn't matter. The food program she was talking about, the Optimist Club took up in 2010 and did it for 8 years because harvesters would not come to our community, not because they didn't like us, but they had spent their money in Cass County and we did not have a high enough poverty level for free and reduced lunches to qualify for what they were doing for the youth of the county. And so we did that for 8 years, and it was a great program. We got up to 100 children at one time. We gave awfully good food, I think. Because I believe now, Harvest came in about 2018 and started with the school. We partnered with the school. We really can't get much accomplished unless we partner with someone. The privacy laws really are very stifling for anything that one can do head on. So our club has been very active in finding ways to partner with other pieces of the community that help us contact and serve the youth of Pleasant Hill. I thought what I would do really was read you the creed. Because our creed is what we base Super Citizen on. We just developed a program and did it for the first year for 7th and 8th graders last year. We started from scratch. We can't afford bought-in programs like, if those of you that may be in here, Rachel's Challenge came years ago. We helped with that financially. We cannot afford those programs. It would take our whole budget for several years to buy one of them. So we designed a program that concentrated on 3 or 4 of the creed statements that we then presented. We hired our presenter that then the school, again, we partnered with the school, and we presented 2 days, 7th grade and 8th grade, in classrooms, not a mass, but 20 to 30 kids a time. And it was very successful. Did it change anybody's life? One would never know, but it was a successful program. Let me get this back and read you the creed. The Optimist Creed: promise yourself to be so strong that nothing can disturb your peace of mind, to talk health, happiness, and prosperity to every person you meet, to make all your friends feel that there is something in them, to look at the sunny side of everything and make your optimism come true, to think only of the best, to work only for the best, and expect only the best, to be just as enthusiastic about the success of others as you are about your own. And that's really a key factor for young people, for all of us, but young people. To forget the mistakes of the past and press on to the greater achievements of the future, to wear a cheerful countenance at all times and give every living creature you meet a smile, to give so much time to the improvement of yourself that you have no time to criticize others, to be too large for worry, too noble for anger, too strong for fear, and too happy to permit the presence of trouble. So that's the creed that the Optimist Club developed in the early 1920s, and it's still used today as an international creed. So anyway, that's what I wanted to share with you.
Well, thank you.
Any questions anybody have?
Regarding food for kids here over the summer, is there like a list of things that, like, we had a food drive up at the clinic. I went and got a lot of things myself, you know, when the benefits ran out, when the government was shut down for so long here,
Okay.
you know, last winter. That's definitely something I'd be
You take
interested in
any
helping.
donations. We've worked with his church when they have extra food. We try to find food that's on sale. We try to really just to, again, it's a focus on the kids and it's focus on those neighborhoods that need that support. And we hand deliver them a bag of food, like, you know, anything
Well,
from
is
that.
there a
But yeah,
list of things that you could maybe drop by the clinic?
I'm sure we
or,
could. Yeah,
You know,
And-
if you don't have it with you tonight.
yeah.
You know.
I'm sure we could get with you and drop it off, or at least contact you
Yeah,
and do
just
that.
stop by the clinic.
But yeah, anybody that has that kind of donation that wants to donate, that's totally fine. And we only do it from the week after July 4th, like so the week after school, the
Yeah, when
summer school ends,
gets out.
and then all the way till school starts again.
Okay.
Yeah, and that's so it's only a 6 or 7 week period that we do it, and we hand deliver, and it just again gets us out in the community and helps those kids that need that support. But yeah, we take any donations.
Yeah, just bring me a list and
Okay,
we'll go shopping.
sure, sounds good. Anybody else?
If somebody was wanting to become a member,
Yes.
how would, you know, obviously other than somebody that's here that,
We do have we can always contact us through we're on Facebook, we're on X, we're on Twitter. Luckily we all got on all the socials, so definitely look for us on that. Any of us could be contacted. A lot of us are in different committees, so if you see us around town, happy to help out, or if you catch us. But yeah, anybody can join at any time. Doesn't matter. You can even come just to a meeting and listen to what we do and what we're talking about. We're very open. Again, there's no huge requirement, you know, just even if you can attend a couple meetings a year or something, and then, you know, a couple of events, you know, we just really need the volunteers to help us with those certain events, because with only 14, I mean, we definitely have 85% of our members that definitely help us out throughout the year, but it's always good when you have a little bit extra people on hand, so.
when are the meetings?
We are every second Saturday of the month, and we meet at 8:15 at Community Bank. Thank goodness Community Bank lets us have their meetings on a Saturday. So, but yes, so definitely. And again, I'll hand these out, and if you do know anybody, share it and let us know. Thank you guys
Thank you
for
very
letting us
much.
have the time.
All right, we will now go to the public comment section. If you have a comment to address the council with, please step up to the podium, tell your name and address, and please limit your comments to 3 minutes.
I'm Bob White. I live at 116 North Campbell Street in Pleasant Hill. And since signs are on the topic of conversation tonight, I'd like to say that I support the program to clean and beautify street signs in and around Pleasant Hill. Pleasant Hill, in conjunction with other civic organizations, have worked diligently to brighten and bring commerce to Pleasant Hill. And along with that, I'm asking the city of Pleasant Hill to approach MoDOT to complete a project begun in 2010 and 2011. In 2010 and 2011, MoDOT moved Missouri Business 7 Highway from First Street to Veterans Parkway, shortening the roads that they were responsible for. It is MoDOT's responsibility to post signage on state highways, including Missouri Business 7 in Pleasant Hill, and that the responsibility is covered by state law. I'm asking, with the cleanup of road signs in Pleasant Hill, that MoDOT be asked to complete the change of the roof for Business 7 begun in 2010, posting a Business 7 sign and arrow at Cedar and Veterans Parkway showing the turn, adding a Business 7 sign at the junction of 58 and 1st Street, and removing the sign on Wyoming directing Business 7 traffic to turn left and travel down 1st Street. Thank you.
Thank you.
Evening, council. Huh?
Were you hiding over there?
Yes, hiding. Stalking. Carla Murray, 300 North Campbell Street, Pleasant Hill, Missouri. And I am coming to you as president of Downtown Pleasant Hill Inc. And I am formally requesting, I guess, that we be able to meet with you guys in a work session to kind of let you know what we've got going on, what our future looks like, what we're planning to do, some of the things that we'd like to partner with the city on as well. We've actually done quite a bit of things for economic development. We've made that a focus of ours in the last year and a half. And I think it all fits right in line with exactly everything we're hearing from the city, and I'd like to partner a little bit more on that if we could. I think a work session would really help us all kind of just be able to iron some things out, talk about some things, and maybe we can change our direction if it's not following the direction that council's taking on at this time. So I'm requesting that. Thank you.
Thank you. Are there any other members of the public that would like to speak? Okay, let's continue on to items for consideration. We have bill number 2622, proposed resolution authorizing the city administrator to execute an agreement between the Quality Roofing Company and the city of Pleasant Hill for the City Hall roof replacement project.
Thank you, Mayor. As you see in your packet, this is just a follow-up to the agenda item that was approved at the last meeting, which was the bid award 5-26 for the City Hall roof replacement. During that meeting, we had just let you know that once we award the bid, then we do the contract, so we don't spend time on the contract until we know that you all are going to award the bid. So what you have in your packet tonight is that contract. The contractor has signed it, and it is for your consideration. As you see in the memo, as we discussed at the last meeting, it will require a budget amendment for $54,343.17. That is a separate agenda item, or the next item on the agenda after this. So with that is a $45,000 contingency. We have not included that budget amendment, as we told you at the last meeting. Should we need the contingency, then we would come back with that at that time. But we didn't feel like it was appropriate to bring forth a budget amendment that we don't yet know that we will need. Happy to answer any questions if you have them.
If there are no questions from council, I will entertain a motion to approve bill number 2622.
I'll make a motion to approve bill number 2622.
I will second.
Okay. Is there any discussion from the council?
I'm just gonna say I'm gonna vote no, just to be consistent with the last meeting. I feel like we should have taken a little bit of time and looked at some other options.
Is there anyone from the public that would like to speak about this item? Okay. There's a motion and a second. We will have a roll call vote, please.
Councilwoman Minor? Sorry, I'm not here. Yes. Councilwoman Doomer?
Yes.
Councilman Patterson?
No.
Councilwoman Elliott?
Yes.
Okay, that bill passes. The next item for consideration is budget amendment 2027-03 for the City Hall roof replacement project.
This is the same. It's just the budget, the prepared budget amendment to fund the contract that you all just approved.
Unless there's any questions from the council, I will entertain a motion to approve budget amendment 2027-03.
I'll make a motion to approve budget amendment 2703.
Is there a second?
I'll second.
Having a motion and a second, is there any discussion from council? Is there anybody from the public that would like to speak on this item? All right, with a motion and a second, we'll have a roll call vote, please.
Councilman Niner,
Yes.
Councilman Duma,
Yes.
Councilman Patterson,
No,
Councilman Elliott.
Yes.
Okay, that passes. Our next item for consideration is bill number 2623, a proposed ordinance amending chapter 28, section 315, and chapter 46, section 13 of the Code of Ordinances of the City of Pleasant Hill, Missouri, relating to the ordinances of resisting arrest and leaving the scene of a motor vehicle accident.
Good evening, Council. This is a bill that would amend two of the current ordinances of the city code. Is that you're on?
I don't think you're on.
It's on.
Sure. Oh, yeah.
Just got a little closer. How's
There
that?
you go.
Okay, so this ordinance would amend two different provisions of city code. We'll take them in turn. The first one is leaving the scene of a motor vehicle accident. It would add that you actually have knowledge of the, I'll say that differently. So the current ordinance requires proof that the driver had knowledge of the injury or property damage occurring from the accident. The new ordinance would just require the driver to have knowledge of the accident occurring, not the actual damage or the injury. And that would meet city code, that would meet state law on this too. This was a request from the prosecutor to kind of tighten up the city's codes and have them match state law. So I can take any questions on that part first before we get to the next one.
Which prosecutor? The new city prosecutor or the
Yes,
county
the
prosecutor?
city prosecutor,
Okay.
yes. The second piece would amend the resisting or interfering with arrest. The current city code requires resistance to an arrest or fleeing from an officer. It is that specific on those two items. State law has a wider range of items that can include fleeing from an officer, which also include when you have an arrest, but also just stops, detentions, and things like that. So that's primarily what that ordinance changed. Again, it is to meet state law, both make it easier on the officers to know what the law is, and it's just nice to meet state law too.
So we're just aligning with state law essentially. Okay.
Are there any other?
Captain Clay, do you have anything to say?
No, sir. That I covered. We had to get used to that microphone. Okay. With that, I would entertain a motion to approve bill number 2623.
I'll make a motion to approve Bill 2623.
I'll second.
Okay. We have a motion and a second. Is there any discussion from council regarding this bill? Is there anyone from the public that would like to comment about Bill 2623? All right, with a motion and a second, we will have a roll call vote, please.
Councilman Niner,
Yes.
Councilman Duma,
Yes.
Councilman Patterson,
Yes.
Councilman Elliott.
Yes.
All right, that bill passes. Our next topic is a discussion regarding the solar speed sign locations. Bring it right over here.
So last year with the Mid-American Kansas City chapter of the Road Coalition for Roadway Safety, it's a lot to say. We were approved for some grant funding to purchase 2 solar-powered radar signs to put in our community. They've been sitting in our Sally Port. We finally got them in, I think, late March, early April, with all the renovation and everything else we didn't want to add to the pile. But what we're looking at for placement of those is on Country Club coming toward the city and right before Eklund in the school zone area. And then putting another one on Country Club as people are coming into the neighborhood area from the traffic circle going southbound.
Lexington, you mean?
Lexington, sorry, yeah. What did I say?
You said Country Club.
Yeah, I meant Lexington. Thank you. As far as getting those mounted, they're basically, you find a pole and you put them up and they're a permanent fixture. It's not like the speed trailer that is mobile. If we wanted to move it at some point, we could do that, but it requires somebody to dismount it, move it, put it back up wherever. So looking at all the traffic data from the last several years, doing our step trailer, our safety trailer, little speed trailer, those two areas are pretty consistent for speeding, traffic enforcement, and just, kind of wild driving. So that's why we kind of are looking at those two areas.
Is there any discussion from council?
I feel like the one on Country Club is well placed. Personally, as someone who grew up in this town, I think, over there by that roundabout on Lexington, that's the back side of a neighborhood. They have a nice wide sidewalk. There's not a lot of kids in that road. If we're going to put one on Lexington, I would encourage you guys to consider either just to the north of the intersection at Mathis. I think that would probably be, where those, there's those duplexes there, and there's kids over there all the time, and they have been as long as I've been. I lived in them duplexes when I was a kid, so I just don't know. I know you got your data, and I'm not going to disrespect that, but I'm just looking at from a practicality standpoint. There's a 6 foot wide sidewalk there and people aren't in the street there. And I understand, that used to be what they called Smoke Road.
It still is.
When my dad was in high school, they drag raced over there, but there weren't houses or anything, it was a gravel road back then. But I don't know. I just think maybe somewhere else. I do agree Lexington is definitely the road, for sure. Just maybe a little bit different. We had somebody come and talk at a meeting here not too long ago about that intersection near Mathis and Lexington, and I agree. So.
Can I say something on this?
Hold on one moment. Is there anything else from council?
I would just say, Zach, I think that just my experience talking to people, I'm not in the police department, so I don't know what you guys have experienced, but I do think further south is probably where I've received a lot of feedback. People wish that there would be speed bumps or something that would slow down traffic.
I'm Kay Hendrickson, and I live at 1406 Lawndale, and I actually believe that he's right, because if he's talking about the roundabout by the St. Bridget's, okay, because when I went to St. Bridget's, somebody she happened to go the same place I did, and I tried nicely to ask her, the roundabouts get me confused. I never know who has the right of way. But it's not only that, but there's a lot of people that really speed through there, and I hate to bring it up, but look how many kids have already been killed on BB. So I think he does have a good point. And also I was thinking on Country Club too, where Lexington is, there's that two-way there from the Lexington, from the schools or whatever. Them poor little kids, I just go ahead and stop for them, even though there's not a walkway. There really needs to be a walkway, because the bus was here the one day and it was raining and the poor little kid was trying to cross and people weren't letting him. And so there was finally a spot where I seen and I let him. So I don't know. Anyways, I'm just giving you my feedback.
Well,
Thank you.
My only feedback, you won't like it, is I think that when you get from Eklund Drive if I'm going, I'm not good with direction. If I'm going away from town, okay? So if I'm headed towards Big Iron Town, that 25 miles an hour is too slow for that area. I think that they should at least do 35 because you can't even drive 25 without riding down that little grade with your foot on the brake.
Yeah, that's why we want to put it the other direction so that as they approach the school zone, it just kind of is a reminder that, hey, there are buses and kids that are coming from that area. So we're trying to just get them to at least be aware that, hey, there may be something coming out there.
Well, and just so I know, how much do these cost a piece?
I believe they were 4,800-ish a piece. And they were all grant funded.
Because I feel like we should have one both ways on Country Club with the school there.
I can put in next year for another grant.
Okay.
Like the sound of that. Is there anything else that we need to? Anybody else from the public would like to make a comment?
John Sell, 205 South Campbell. I just want to say that I think Clay's idea of putting it there on Lexington by the roundabout is a good idea. If you consider that sooner or later Hunter's Ridge is going to be connected, I don't know the other subdivision.
Hickory Hills.
It's going to be connected to Hickory Hills, and that's going to turn into what we would call the East Bypass in Springfield, where a lot of people are going to be going down VV and down Lexington to get to Hunter's Ridge to get to Hickory Hills without having to go through town. So think about that future expansion when you think about the placement of these in the future.
Thank you.
That's a good point.
That's good comment, John, because I just had a meeting with Hunter's Ridge about that potential problem earlier today, so it's good feedback to think about.
Is there anything that you need from us?
No.
I would just say if you all want to do something different than the staff recommendation, that I would ask there to be a vote on that, just so we can ensure that it's the full council wanting that change.
Okay.
Well, I think if potentially we can get grants for others, I mean, I think there needs to be one on Boardman too, probably. People going out to practices and stuff, but I think this is a good start.
I'm sure we could find plenty of streets that we could use those on.
This is a good start.
So
I'm fine with this.
I don't have any problem with unanimous consent.
So if everybody's good with staff recommendations? Okay. So thank you for that, and we'll look forward to seeing those up before too long. Okay, the next item of discussion is the street sign replacement project.
Thank you, Mayor. Kylie's gonna get me, I've got a few little slides here to kind of show you, give you an idea of what we're looking at for the style of signage that we're looking for downtown. As you know, for the last couple of years, staff has been talking about improving our signage downtown, traffic and wayfair, for the traffic safety and the flow downtown, and to give it some continuity, give it a little different look, a little better look than what we are used to. In fiscal year 2026, we budgeted $33,000 annually for the next 3 years to support this project, but unfortunately we're not able to get that project kicked off last year. So we're looking to move forward this year and get the project started. Kylie's almost there. There you go. So, downtown street signs improvement project. You can go ahead and go to the next slide. So this is just a few examples of the signage that we have downtown as far as our stop signs, street signage. As you can see, it's kind of a wide variety. Some are pretty faded and look pretty tough. And then for the most part, the sign in the middle, I think that's at Campbell and Oak. That is kind of the typical signage that you'll see in a lot of communities. You get up to Sugar Land, Hunters Ridge, Hickory Hills, those kind of areas, you'll see that type of signage. We're looking to do something a little bit different downtown. So going through the kind of the budget and the $33,500 that we have budgeted for this year, this is really high level estimating. I've done some phone calls and talking to some people. And it looks like we can do a sign for about $500 per sign. So that would give us about 60 signs. Now it may adjust a little bit depending on how many speed limit signs, no parking signs, and all that kind of stuff that we have to do as well. So the areas that we have shaded in orange will be what the city of Pleasant Hill is looking to do first. That would be our phase one of the project. And then I was approached by Pleasant Hill Downtown Inc. And they have offered to help out with the project with some of their fundraising that they're doing this year. And they thought that they could come up with around $10,000 based on some of their fundraising and then the barbecue contest that they're having this fall. So the shaded area in yellow there would be the area that we would start with them. It's probably roughly around 10 to 15 intersections or signs there. And then if money allows us to, we'll stretch it to the east back towards 7th Highway. That's just on the south side of that orange shaded area.
I'm not very map savvy, so where is the orange at if you were to give me a location in town?
North is up, so that is Cedar.
Okay.
And
Right
then
down
it
the
would
middle,
be down
right?
to, what's that?
Cedar's down the middle.
Yep, right down. It would be right at the top of the orange.
Top of the orange.
Yep, so it would be on the north side there. And then Pine Street would be on the south side, on the lower side. And we would try to infill every intersection and block throughout that orange section, and then we would stretch it to the west out 58 towards the fairgrounds for the traffic coming into town from the west. So this is the type of signage that I've been looking at. This is what staff and I have been talking about and discussing, and this is kind of what we've come to really like. We think this will really set the downtown area apart and give us a little bit nicer look, I'd say.
Is that black, or is that what that is, black?
Yep.
Okay.
So my thought would be we would have the PH off on the one side where it says it's the town.
I see that.
Whatever town that is.
Yeah, it was a town, so it was initials of the town that was on that picture. So we would do the PH, then let's say Boardman Road or something like that. So that would be an example if everybody is interested in looking moving forward, because like I said, I've got high level prices. I haven't really got anything serious, but we would like kind of your guys' input on the location of where our project's going to start, and then the style of the sign.
So $500 a sign. So is that we're considering the stop sign, the post, and the street signs at each corner? $500. Okay.
What kind of post is it on then?
It is on like a 3x3 square post,
Oh, I like that.
and then it would have a square cap and then a smaller or a square base on the bottom as well. The one thing that I wasn't 100% sold on was the outline of the stop sign in the black. That was one area where I could maybe cut some costs if I needed to. But
And
on
that,
style.
that style is just for downtown part, right?
Yes, that would be, and then in the next 2 years after, we would move to the north and try to get the entire downtown in that style of sign.
I think it's a really good idea. I just didn't know if there was any way to spread this money a little bit further, without having to spend quite as much on each individual sign, but have everyone included sooner rather than later. Because, I mean, just because you're north of Cedar doesn't mean you're not part of downtown. That's downtown.
No, absolutely. And it would be, like I said, in the next 2 years, we would continue to the north and include the rest of downtown.
I guess for me, I'd like to see what's your kind of most your Cadillac option, your Lincoln option, and your Ford option.
You bet.
You know what I'm saying?
So are
Yeah.
you asking to come back with different options?
Well, just with some more hardcore numbers.
The thing of it is there's not a lot of options out there.
Really? Okay.
You really have basic signage, galvanized posts, 2-inch square posts, or you get into a fairly expensive style sign. Now we can go, this is here probably middle of the road when you start looking at the decorative signage. You can go quite a bit more expensive than what these are. But this definitely gives you a very distinct and unique look for downtown.
Which is kind of what we've been striving for. I'm gonna use the word quaint, I don't know if that's really it, but give you that hallmark feeling type thing.
Right.
I think it looks great.
I do too.
It definitely looks great. It's just trying to spread that money as much as we can.
The other thing that Carla had thrown out is she has some experience with going after some grants. She had offered for Pleasant Hill Downtown Inc. to assist us in trying to find some grants for some signage to stretch the money out a little bit farther, but we don't have any idea what that would turn out to be.
So the black around the stop sign is an upgrade?
Yeah, it's an additional piece.
Is it just, I was just looking at aesthetic value of it, maybe, I don't know. Is it going to make the stop signs dirtier to have that around it?
Yes, probably, because it does actually have a backing to it. So yes.
If we can swing it, I think that it needs to stay. I mean, I'm all for longevity. You have to pay a little bit more to get to make it last a lot longer.
And we've already budgeted for this.
Yes, for the next 3 years.
Looks a whole lot better than them being on the fence posts.
Yes.
It would be a huge improvement. Huge.
So is this another situation where if the council wants to veer from staff proposal, we need to have a.
Well, is there a proposal? There's no.
Not really. This was just for a discussion.
Yeah, it's more just a discussion. But I mean, if it's a situation where we want to direct, if the council wants to direct staff to do something different than the direction that they're going, now would be the time to do so.
Yeah, because this is within my purchasing authority. We could move forward, but we wanted to make sure that we were all on the same page about design and locations before we did that. So we wouldn't come back, if you all are good with this, we would not come back to you for any other formal approval.
I just, if you were gonna tell me for sure we're gonna get everything in the orange and everything in the yellow, and potentially some of everything south of there, well, I would say yes.
You're going to get everything in the orange, but anything in that yellow is going to be dependent
Because we don't have numbers.
Well, but everything in the yellow is going to be dependent on partnering with Downtown Pleasant Hill and any grants or funding that they can provide based off of their you know, their funding mechanisms, like, you know, with the barbecue competition that they're going to be building up bigger than they have the last couple of years.
So can I ask Carla a question? So you feel pretty confident with the downtown association that do you guys already have the funds, or do you
We
feel
actually do
confident
have
that
the,
you're
we do have the funds in the bank at this time to be able to help with that. We will be spending some of those for Big Creek Barbecue. We're just shy of that. We will be spending some of those for the Big Creek Barbecue Bash to put that on, but we also make money there. So I feel pretty confident. I talked to Tony. I'm really confident in $7,500. I'm pretty confident in 10. I'm hoping we could do 15. I live downtown, and I'm not in the orange. I'm just north of the orange, and I know Bob does too. And these are great because right now the one in front of my house sits on a T-post.
Yeah, they're tacky.
Tacky.
That's what's in front of my house, and it's laying like this.
So we're really excited about it. I'm personally excited about it. I'm also excited about from the downtown Pleasant Hill because we want to do projects that are long-term and have longevity, and they change people's perception of downtown, and we think that this hits that. The reason we volunteered to do the yellow portion is because part of our mission is bringing the fairgrounds into the downtown, because it's a block and a half away, and that's what that yellow does, is it takes the streets from downtown 2nd Street to the fairgrounds, and so that's why that fit into our mission to do that. And so that's why we ended up partnering with it. I feel really good that we're going to be able to do it. There's a lot of grants that we're looking at. There's a lot of tourism grants that we're looking at. And this actually fit. Wayfinding signing for tourism is actually something you could do with the grant process. So I feel good about that.
Cool.
Well, I'm also, obviously downtown is my precinct, so I am very much looking forward to seeing some improvements be made to precinct 22. We welcome that. I also understand what Zach is saying, make sure that we're getting the most for our money. Yeah, the 60 signs at 500 is 30,000. So if there's an option for us to go a little less, I would like for it to be done as well thought out as possible. It sounds like you've already done that. So I do understand what Zach is saying though, trying to make it go as far as it can. Then my other question was if we budgeted, I guess we can't budget for next. So we budgeted for this in 2025 or 2026?
In 26.
Okay. Yeah, it was in 26, but then we reallocated it for FY27.
Okay, so then we didn't add to this for 2027 to make the 66, right?
Right, exactly. We were just going to do one chunk at a time over 3 fiscal years so that we can make sure we can get it done.
Okay.
Is there any other comments from council? Is there anyone from the public that would like to comment about this project?
I can testify the stop sign at Campbell Street in Cedar is bleached white, and I'm very grateful to see this. This makes me very happy. Thank you, Tony. Thank you, Carla. Where would we start doing this work? I wasn't quite clear on that.
South Cedar?
The orange section would be?
The orange section is where, that would be where the signs would go in first.
Yeah.
Basically, we would start on Cedar Street and work our way to the west, and then work our way to the south.
And that goes up to 7 to Boardman. Right?
Yes. And then all the way around to Front Street, out to 58, and then down, back around and down to Pine, all the way back to 7.
The only ask that I would have would be, could we do the section in yellow first? Because that is when we have the most number of visitors to our town, is at the fair. And I feel that that would drastically improve the way our town looks to the people in that yellow area. I think Carla's suggestion to do that is fantastic. I was just gonna throw that out there that maybe we do that first so that people who attend the fair can see that and have a more professional opinion of our town when they come to visit.
Well, what kind of timeline would we be looking at? There's no way we could have this in place before
No,
the fair, right?
there's no way. We have a pretty good lead time on once we decide and order the signs, we're gonna have a good lead time before we get them. And then our department is gonna handle the installation. So it's gonna take us at least 45 days, once we get the signs, to get them changed out.
So lead time, pretty good lead time, 60, 90 days?
I mean, you're probably talking 6 to 12 weeks at the best.
Okay. So 90 days probably. Okay.
I think it's a good thought
That's
process,
a
John,
good,
I really
that's a
do,
good idea,
but.
Yeah.
We'll be ready for next.
Absolutely.
Yeah. We'll be ready for the next fair. Hopefully they'll
We're
all be.
striping, are we striping? We're striping for this one?
Do we think we'll have it done by the end of the year?
That would be the goal, yes.
So that looks like a UTV parade route right there,
Just
right?
thinking that.
Absolutely, yep.
Okay. Okay. If there's no objection from council, we'll turn it back over to city staff to continue with that.
Okay, thank you.
And that looks like that's all we have on the agenda today, except for closed session. And so with that being said, I will entertain a motion to go into closed session pursuant to RSMO 610-0212 for discussion of real estate and RSMO 610-02112 for contract negotiations.
I'll make a motion to go into closed session for RSMO 610-021 and 610-021-12 and 2, sorry.
I'll second.
With a motion and a second, we'll have a roll call vote, please.
Councilman Niner,
Yes.
Councilman Doomer,
Yes.
Councilman Patterson.
Yes.
Councilman Elliott.
Yes.
We are now in closed session.